You guys are watching Tennessee Titans today. I am Tom Downey, and here's what's coming up on today's show. The A.J. Brown holdout that's not technically a holdout, but also still kind of is, plus the idea of drafting Matt Corral, which I've got thoughts on, a 7-round mock draft roundup from one Dane Brugler, and we are once again asking you guys to subscribe. We are 145 away from 3,000. I am told if we don't get there today, bad things will happen to producer Jack. Don't let that happen. Subscribe right now. You're watching Tennessee Titans today. I am Tom Downey. We're going to start with A.J. Brown, the latest on the very talented receiver who apparently will not be participating, per ESPN's Adam Schefter, at voluntary workouts for the Tennessee Titans. Brown is one of 3 star NFL players, we'll get to those guys later on, kind of, sort of, who are not participating in the voluntary workouts. Brown wants a new deal. This is one of the few things he's able to do to help leverage himself to get that new deal beyond getting linked to trades and other players. This is a holdout and yet also not a holdout. It's not technically one because it's voluntary, but it's if A.J. Brown didn't want a new deal, he'd be there for the Tennessee Titans. So in a way, it's, same, but different for Tennessee and A.J. Brown as it relates to a holdout, but not really a holdout. It's the technicality of the whole thing, semantics in the end. Brown joins Deebo Samuel and Terry McLaurin, who apparently will be there but not participating. Okay, whatever, in those voluntary workouts. In the end, all 3 of these guys want the same thing, to get the bag. The wide receiver market is hot right now. We saw Davante Adams, Tyreek Hill go for massive trade packages and then get massive bags from their new teams in the Dolphins, in the Raiders. A.J. Brown, everyone else, those young receivers who are not as good right now as Tyreek Hill and Davante Adams, well, they're younger, though, so they might get similar money. They're going to be DJ Moore. Maybe get him at $25 million. If that's the case, you probably jump all over that in the end. So I want you guys to give me your one-word reaction to A.J. Brown skipping voluntary workouts for Tennessee. We'll talk about this more in depth in a little bit, but I want you to head down to the comments section and let me know what your one-word reaction is. Look, maybe leverage is a good one word, because Brown is using what limited leverage he can. Holdouts, the true, typical, I'm not showing up to training camp, are basically dead. The way the NFL has implemented the new CBA, the fines are so extravagant, it's not really going to be utilized that much by players. And if they do hold out in camp, it's really bad, and it gets really ugly. If I were Tennessee, I would pay A.J. Brown as soon as possible, for the exact reasons we actually kind of already mentioned. The wide receiver market is booming. Deebo Samuel wants to get paid. DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, all guys from that draft class. Brown is a number 1 receiver even after coming off a bit of a down year. And the number 1 thing we know to be a fact about the market, it only goes up. Now, you might be able to argue that Brown and Samuel and Scary Terry are in a different tier than the Tyreek Hill, Davante Adams, but at minimum, they're in that DJ Moore tier. And I think all 3 guys will get similar numbers, but the last one to sign, or all 4 guys, if you want to include DK Metcalf too, will get the most. So you want to be first. You want to get that deal done first, because it's expensive, and then in 3 months, it's not even top 3 among that foursome. That's why you want to be proactive in your contract negotiations, even though you also have to pay guys like Jeffrey Simmons in the not-too-distant future, but you can be smart with how you manage your cap. It's not that challenging to do so, but what the Saints have done for years. So of the 3 who are holding out apparently, who is most likely to be traded? Is it A.J. Brown? Type in A.J. Is it Deebo Samuel? Type in D.S. Is it Scary Terry McLaurin? Type in TM for me in the comments section. Coming up next are some interesting draft rumors out there. Potentially Titans taking a QB early in this year's draft, and a new 7-round mock draft from the best draft analyst out there, Dane Brugler of The Athletic. But if you want the best draft coverage live, do it with us here at Chat Sports on YouTube, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Unlike ESPN, unlike NFL Network, We're going to break down every single pick that happens. That's what you guys care about on day 3. And yes, we will tip picks as well. So go subscribe to the Chat Sports YouTube channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv. That link will be in the comments section and in the description. Matt Corral, could he go to the Tennessee Titans? So NFL.com's Cynthia Ferlund, who is one of their analytical experts, says that Corral is the analytical fit for Tennessee, which I got thoughts on. I'll say right now, I don't think NFL Network's analytics are very good. Next Gen Stats is awesome, but this stuff that often happens with Cynthia Ferlund, I just don't think it makes that much sense. Now, OC Todd Downing was at Corral's Pro Day. That is significant because there aren't that many good Ole Miss playmakers on offense this year. And they've shown enough interest that you wonder, could they be a pick for quarterback in round 1 or round 2 or round 3? Here's what Ferlund wrote. Corral is my second most pro-ready quarterback prospect, but my models don't love him starting in year 1. This player-team pairing doesn't throw shade Ryan Tannehill's way, but rather respects the system of leveraging Corral's skill set play action the most. Which, okay, I think is actually pretty fair. Also takes a big swing at bringing in a potential QB for the future, because it's absolutely necessary down the line. Of the current QB-needy team, Seattle creates the highest 3-season win share, which I think is more like the level of need relative to them. Tennessee's not the highest there. If the Titans were to take Matt Corral in round 1, I would hate it. I don't know what model says he's the second most pro-ready. He ain't. If Justin Fields was a one-read QB, Matt Corral is a half-read QB in the Mickey Mouse lane given off. Worked wonders in college. It wasn't reading defenses. It was RPOs and play action. That's what he ran, which I think to some level does make him a good fit in Tennessee. But he's my QB4 this year, behind Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, who are not going to be there, and Desmond, who probably isn't there either. When Corral has to go beyond his predetermined read, it's not great. He wasn't asked to do it very much, and you wonder, was it because, well, they just didn't want him to, or because he wasn't good at it? That's a big-time red flag. Now, if you can get me Matt Corral in the 3rd round, it's a very different conversation. Spending the 2nd round or 1st round pick, as good as his arm is, as quick of a release he has, as quick as his athletic ability is, I think is a huge reach. I wouldn't like Matt Corral in round 1. I got too many concerns about him as a true quarterback in the NFL versus being a really damn good college QB that I don't like that idea. So what do you guys think? Should the Titans draft Matt Corral this year? Y for yes or N for no? Sound off for me right now in the comments section. While you're down there, make sure you guys are subscribed. Here's why you should do it. It is a meritocracy here at Chat Sports. The more subscribers the channel has, the more videos you guys get. So you want more? Subscribe, tell your friends. We have videos all year long. We're 365 here at Chat Sports. Draft and free agency coverage. If enough of you sub, we'll do some mailbag stuff where we'll ask you guys for your questions, subscribers only. And oh, by the way, it's all free here. YouTube.com/Titans today. Let's talk Dane Brugler's 7-round mock draft. I don't think anybody in the draft industry is better than Dane. That's how highly I think of him. So quickly, kind of player rank or the reveals who the players picked or were picked for Tennessee. Excuse me. Kenyon Green in round 1, the guard from A&M. I love it. Plug and play starter. Calvin Austin, round 3. I think also a fantastic fit. Undersized but dynamic with the ball in his hands, would be a strong receiver 3 for Tennessee. A quarterback, Carson Strong, who I've got major medical red flags about. I don't love him, but in the 4th at 131, that's a lot more palatable than, say, at even pick 90. I think the 4th round is fine for Carson Strong. Michael Clemens, the edge rusher, traitsy, toolsy, late breakout player who has some production, but is old and has some off-the-field stuff as well. I got him more in the 5th, 6th round than the 4th, but hey, edge depth is always valuable. I love Kalen Barnes, by the way. 5th round, I'm all for it as a special teamer. Sure. Jania Thomas, safety depth, awesome. And Austin Allen could be a backup run-stopping tight end or run-blocking tight end for you. In the end, the Titans draft really comes down to their first 2 picks. 1st round, number 90, and the 3rd round, too. And those are 2 great first-round picks. So if you promise me Titans get Kenyon Green and they walk out of this draft with Calvin Austin, I think that would be a haul for Tennessee. So grade this draft, the mock draft, for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Sound off for me right now in the comments section.